Why was the golden age of animation so iconic for Warner Brothers? Imagine a time when cartoons burst with energy, wit, and characters that felt like real personalities. That's what the golden age of animation brought to Warner Brothers. It was a period from the late 1930s to the early 1950s when the studio truly made its mark. During this era, Warner Brothers became known for its fast-paced, clever humor that set it apart from other animation studios. They focused on creating cartoons that made people laugh with sharp dialogue, slapstick comedy, and cultural jokes that adults could enjoy too. One of the biggest reasons this era is so remembered is because of the characters Warner Brothers introduced. These characters, like Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and Tweety, became icons. They weren't just drawings. They had strong personalities, funny voices, and memorable catchphrases. These characters were visually distinctive and had exaggerated traits that made them stand out. They felt like real personalities, which made audiences connect with them deeply. The creative minds behind these cartoons played a huge role. Directors like Tex Avery, Bob Clampett, and Chuck Jones brought fresh ideas and energy to Warner Brothers. Their style was wild, zany, and full of surprises. Tex Avery, for example, made cartoons that were full of exaggerated movements and silly gags. Bob Clampett added surreal and energetic scenes that made the cartoons feel lively and unpredictable. Chuck Jones refined the humor, making the characters' timing and expressions perfect. Their combined efforts created a unique style that became the signature of Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers cartoons also stood out because of their humor. They used satire, parody, and clever dialogue that appealed to both kids and adults. Unlike other studios that focused on fairy tales or musical themes, Warner Brothers embraced humor that was sometimes edgy or self-aware. They often made fun of popular culture, politics, and even themselves, which kept the cartoons fresh and funny. Music was another key part of Warner Brothers cartoons. The studio owned a lot of music rights, so they cleverly used popular songs in their shorts. This made the cartoons more lively and memorable. The music synchronized perfectly with the animation, adding to the comedic effect and making the cartoons more engaging. Despite limited budgets and wartime restrictions, Warner Brothers achieved high-quality animation. Their timing, expressions, and fluid movements set a standard for theatrical shorts. The animators worked hard to make every scene look sharp and funny, which helped their cartoons stand out in theaters. The impact of Warner Brothers cartoons lasted long after their initial releases. They dominated theaters from the mid-1940s to the early 1960s and became a big part of American pop culture. Their influence extended into television, merchandise, and even political satire. The characters and style from this era continue to inspire animators and entertain audiences today. In the end, the Golden Age was so iconic for Warner Brothers because it was a time when talented creators, memorable characters, and a bold sense of humor came together. They made cartoons that made people laugh, think, and remember for generations. This era defined what American animation could be and left a lasting legacy that still makes us smile.